Good evening. Welcome to our special meeting for the City of Dilley City Council, today, May 19, 2026. Can I please call meeting to order at 6:08 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Alexandria Inocencio,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Everardo Castillo Jr., Councilmember Place 2 Eric Aranda,
Present.
Councilmember Place 3 Marisa B. Torres, present. Councilmember Place 4 Joe L. Garcia,
Present.
Councilmember Place 5 Alberto Gomez.
Present.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to United States and Texas flag?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Invocation, please.
Let us pray. Lord, we ask you to fill our hearts with fresh inspiration, clear our minds, and open our eyes to new possibilities. Give us strength and wisdom to make the right choices and the courage to follow our purpose. Guide our steps and bless the work of our hands as we trust in your plan for us. Amen.
Citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the City Council on any issue or any item of the agenda in compliance with LGC Section 551.007. City Council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may any action be taken on any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. Attorney General Opinion JC-0169. Do we have any citizens to be heard?
No citizens.
Thank you. Moving on to new business. Item number 6, discuss, consider, and act on ordinance number 26-19-05-1. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of City of Dilley, Texas combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation series 2026. Entering into a purchase and investment letter and paying agent registrar agreement and approving all other matters related to the issuance of certificates of obligation.
Mayor, councils, for the record, Dan Martinez was against the PCI service or bond council. I know listed on the agenda item, we have David Gonzalez. He's your financial advisor. We work as a team for the city, and we've had the privilege of serving the city for some time now. I do have a brief presentation that he prepared since I'll be speaking in his absence tonight. Very good.
Industrial.
So what you have before you this evening, folks, is an ordinance authorizing the issuance of certificates of obligation. David has been here in the past to discuss with you guys the process that we undergo to issue these particular types of obligation. The previous action taken by the council was to authorize a notice of publication, and that notice has to be out there for 45 days before you can come back, excuse me, and actually authorize the issuance of the debt. And so that time period has already run. We've published it. It's been on your website for that amount of time as well. And so we had one purchaser submit a bid. Fortunately, we had been here previously, but we had tabled the item. So we came back today and renoticed. And so they were able to hold their bid for us and continue to willingness to buy the bonds from the city. So again, you have your parties on your first page there. The City of Dilley obviously issuing the bonds. I'm your bond counsel. David Gonzalez with PFM Financial Advisors is the city's financial advisor. The purchaser, as I mentioned, is Presidio Short-Term Tax Exempt Fund. We had FHN Financial Capital Markets serving as your placement agent, and BOKF is serving as a paying agent. The final number run there indicates we are issuing COs, I'm sorry, in the amount of $750,000. I think there's a slight error there on the project fund deposit. It's actually 706,500. And our true interest cost that we're able to get from this purchaser is 4.22%, which is very, very good. I actually had a meeting this morning for a large county. I represent Brazos County, and they have a high rating, and they actually issue bonds for like 4.02%. So you're right there. So that's a pretty good rate, in my opinion. As indicated there, your annual debt service is roughly 99,000, and your first payment will be 9/1/26, and your final maturity is 2035. So we're looking at a 10-year term for this obligation. So today, as I mentioned, we've gone through the process. We previously authorized the notice of intent. In that notice, we indicated we would be back here this evening on May 19th to authorize the issuance of sale of the obligations. And then we intend to close on the obligations, and the city will receive your funds on June 18th. If the council still chooses to move forward, we've prepared all the legal documentation. We submitted everything. There's a big old book there, right there, is for signature of Ms. Prado. And so what I do is I submit all that paperwork to the Texas Attorney General, and they will review everything, confirm everything's right. Once they review that and get the approval, they'll issue an opinion. Once they give me that opinion, we can move to close on June 18th, as I mentioned, and the city will receive its funds for the project. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
So you're saying our interest rate can't go any lower than 4.22?
That's correct. It's the fixed rate of 4.022. That's correct. It's fixed.
Mayor and Council, we also have Mr. Dan Trevino here, who is with HydroPro Solutions. If you all have any questions regarding those meters that we're looking at purchasing and how they operate. We did have the opportunity to go to Eagle Pass last week, myself and our Public Works Director and two other employees from Public Works. And we met with the Water District employees of Eagle Pass. They showed us how the system works, the information that would be available to the city when the meters are read. And Mr. Dan Trevino is here to explain how they work and the benefits to the city. If you all have any questions aside from the debt service that's going to be issued or
This is the only company that was able to present this type of work, or?
So, to answer your question, Councilman, there was another presentation, I believe, prior to my coming to work here that was also presented, but was a lot higher in the cost of the AMIs. And the HydroPro is through the buy board. So we met the procurement requirements and going through the buy board. So those were the two presenters regarding these types of meters. I don't recall who that was, the other ones, but I believe they were more significantly higher in their fees. I believe it was double is what I'm hearing. Triple?
It was actually a 2.5 million cost.
And what's the lifetime on these units? What's the lifetime on the units?
These are designed to last for 20 years. So warranty is for 20 years, 10 years for replacement, 10 years prorated. And so what we proposed was a turnkey system to come in, bring an installation contractor and have our project manager come in and change every meter in the city and put up the infrastructure so that by the end of the project, the entire city is going to be read automatically to the billing office.
Okay, so the units itself is a 750,000.
Is
Just- just the meters?
No, that's for the complete turnkey project. That's the meters, installation, the radio endpoint, the software cost, everything included. And training included, on-site training. What we offer also as a service as HydroPro, so we're the distributor for Master Meter. Master Meter's a Texas-based company. They're based in Mansfield, south of Fort Worth, but they sell nationwide. We're based in Georgetown, and we're their premier distributor for the state of Texas and California. So we also, as a distributor, we don't just sell you the system and you never see us again. You're gonna see us, they're designed to last for 20 years, for better, or for worse, you're gonna see us for 20 years, working with Rudy, working with the guys in the field, troubleshooting meters that aren't working, working with the girls in the office, billing staff, making sure that they communicate well with Encode, with the billing software. So we're here, to service a system, not just sell the system.
And through the lifetime that you've been around, what are the problems that they have had with these meters?
They're made by man, so things, do go wrong. Batteries sometimes go out prematurely. Radios quit communicating. We're talking onesies and twosies. It's very rare to have a system-wide failure. The good thing about Master Meter is it's a reputable company, so they're there. They make the warranty process as painless as possible. There's no cost to the city. We even come and pick up the old meters, return them, get them turned back around by Master Meter and get it shipped back to the city. So there's very little work for the guys in the field to do. They do have to change the meters in the field. But as long as the utility keeps up with the system, let's say you have 2 failures a month, if the guys are changing out 2 meters a month and we're getting them sent back and back in, it's not an illness at all on personnel.
So you said that we have a 20-year warranty on the actual meters. What's the life expectancy on these meters?
They're designed to last 20 years. We have systems in place that have been in the ground for 15, 16, 17 years.
Okay.
When we presented the project, there was a reference sheet that we included in there that, you could feel free to speak to any one of our references. The biggest reason why they wouldn't last 10 years is if somebody has a drive-by system. So there's, different ways to read meters. So there's an intermediate level to, drive by. If you want to go full AMI, they can use our customer loyalty program to move up to the full AMI spectrum of it, just for cost savings in the long run.
And how good is the accuracy on the readings of the meters?
So these are ultrasonic meters. They have no moving parts. They use sound to measure the flow of water. So they're designed they're guaranteed for accuracy for the 20 years to be within AWWA standards, which is 98.5 to 101.5 through all 3 levels of flow. So they'll test them at low flow, intermediate or normal flow, and high flow. And they need to fall within those AWWA standards. So if there's a meter that is suspect, when your customer says, there's no way I use that much water, when you get it tested, we'll get it tested, give you test results. If it fails, they'll replace it free of charge. If it's good, then they return that same unit back and you'll have test results on it. Pretty much what we found, and you have to take the salesman's word for it, but pretty much what we found, because they're ultrasonic, they are the newest technology. If they're on, they're accurate. We have yet to have a Sonata that is not within AWWA standards. Whereas the old mechanical meters, there's different things can go wrong. Impellers wear out, sand can wear, measuring chambers now, there's certain things that can go wrong with them. The ultrasonics, if they're on, they're pretty accurate.
Thank you. I think to bring you up to date on your console, there was a study done, and just with the amount of money we'll be saving, and you can pay it, so the meters pay itself, but the money will be as far as lost water, we won't be losing as much water. We'll be billing the right way. and time for the guys to be out there reading meters and accuracy. So they pretty much pay for themselves, you know, and it frees up the workers from having to read meters for a whole week. So I think, I mean, it's a good investment for the city. It's a long-term investment, but I think it's a good investment. And
Well, that was gonna be my next question. Like, is it feasible for us to pay that amount every year?
well, I think the studies were done and presentations were done, I guess, before Ms. Ryan was here too, but
So I have a copy of that study. This was a study back done in 2021. That when y'all guys had a 25.85% water loss. Just conservatively, the way we run the report, we're very conservative. We figure 50% of that is through your old inaccurate meters. In reality, it's probably more, but like I said, we want to be conservative. Taking that in consideration, you're gonna save about 181, you're gonna increase revenue. So you're not just saving that, you're actually increasing your revenue by $181,000 a year. And keep in mind, this is back in 2021. The water loss has gone up since then. It's basically, the water loss has gone up every year. It was 25.85% in 2021. I think it was 32 or 34 this past year. So if anything, the savings have increased since then.
Mr. Alvarez, do you want to share something with us?
Yes, I just wanted to mention that, this package has already been approved by the previous council. And so now we're at the finance stage. The meters, the advantages, of course, that this is a turnkey. It'll include, as he said, installation of all the meters all throughout the city. And the plan is that what we save on, because right now, we have 30-year-old meters up there. So it's a pretty well much given that they're not measuring correctly anymore. So by measuring it correctly, we should increase our revenue enough to make the payment, which will be like 90,000, a little over 90,000 a year for the next 5 years. And so that should come from the savings of measuring the water correctly and building, so we'll be billing more for the water or accurately. Another saving is that we won't have any meter readers anymore. Right now, our whole workforce for a week, they go out and read meters, and these will be automatically, the readings will be automatically transmitted to the office every day, I believe.
Yes,
If we want to.
Hourly reads
Yeah.
twice a day, right to the office.
So
So the guys aren't gonna have to go out in the field, they're not gonna have to read manually, write numbers down. Rudy said they kind of write numbers down on a pad, bring them into the office. The girls have to manually enter every number. And that's every month that's going on. So all of this happens, all day, every day.
And the benefits would outweigh, of course, because of the inaccuracy that the complaints that you get all the time.
Yeah, it should be also more accurate reading because
that's what I'm saying.
right now they're writing down
And
every
that's
meter.
where these inaccuracies come through because.
Right, and
like,
then
it's a benefit.
they write down the numbers and then they bring the numbers here and they're inputted into the system.
Manually.
Right,
ultimately.
manually, so each one.
Yeah.
This way it'll be automatically sent to our
It's a
our
benefit.
office here, and the software will then pick it up and do the
and the
billing.
residents also have an option to get an app, right? So they can
Yes, so
A portal.
that is,
monitor their own water.
that is an option for the citizens where they can basically log in to their account and they can look at their usage daily. So every day they can go in there, kind of compare, once you get enough information, timeframe information, they can compare what they're using this month with the previous year or the previous months. They can set kind of alerts if they know, well, their bill is $100, let's say at 10,000 gallons. They can set alerts and say, let me know when I'm hitting 9,000 gallons. So they know they need to draw it back if it's the 15th of the month.
So we discussed about the revenue on the plus of like the digital meters, right? But what about the rate per household? Is that gonna be higher?
The rates I can't speak to. Now, the citizens their bills may go up because basically they're paying for the water that's actually going through that meter. Right now, they're not paying for all that. They're guaranteed they're not paying for all that water that's going through there. There may be some discomfort, and there usually is some discomfort with people's bills getting raised, but that's not because
The rate
rates
is
have gone
increased.
up. That's not
Usage.
because they're using more water. That's just because now they're paying for water that they're actually using.
Yeah.
This is also kind of important, especially with this day and age, with water being such an important factor. With the drought going on, you've heard stories of Corpus Christi, all the surrounding towns. I mean, everybody in this area is looking for ways to reduce their water loss. In addition to just being good stewards of the environment, we have to keep the state happy. And have plans in place to kind of decrease your water loss. This is a good way to satisfy a lot of those requirements.
So in the long run, to answer your question, yes, it'll
It'll
benefit.
Mhm.
In the long run, we might have some questions arise of their billing increase and so forth, but that's gonna be with getting used to the new system in place.
And that app that you spoke about, is that part of it or is that an additional?
That's an option. That's a one-time fee. If the city wants to move forward with that, I guess depending on how much money is left over or anything. It's a one-time fee to the city. It's no cost to the citizens ever. And it just depends on the engagement that you think the citizens are going to use it. It's a very user-friendly system. There are systems that are a lot more advanced, but they cost a lot more money. We have kind of grilled it down to have the features that citizens actually use and not all that extra stuff.
Yeah, I think if we just educate the citizens of what's coming, you're gonna pay for the water you're using, so be conservative. And you're gonna get some, you can't make everybody happy always, but if we educate them, they can understand easier.
But it's a step forward.
Right, and I think we touched on that in Eagle Pass. We had good conversations with Mr. Barrera, Mr. Flores, the general manager and assistant general manager of Eagle Pass Waterworks. On some of the good things and bad things when they moved up on a project. And part of that conversation was communication with the citizens before things happen. So it's not a surprise to anybody. I mean, nowadays, everybody has Facebook, things like that, but, we can do flyers, we can do add-ons to the bills, we can have flyers in the office, so communicating to the citizens helps alleviate some of that.
Educating them
Some
about
of that
the
pain.
system that would be coming in place, yes. I have one question. I know we had met at one point, aside from the cost for the turnkey project, there may be some additional costs once you're out here installing the meters. Have y'all met again, yourself and the finance city
So-
administrator?
So, yeah, that's basically, we can't force anybody to do anything, but we
Right.
usually tell people to have some contingency money because the installation cost is based on what they call like for like. So, an installation contractor goes up to the meter box, opens a box, he can get to the nuts, take out the old meter, put the new meter in. Gets all the old numbers, gets all the new numbers, puts it in a program and send it to the city. If, the valve isn't working, if there's already broken piping, if they're just covered up with dirt, and there's gonna be excessive digging, there are costs involved. And it's at each individual meeting. So that's basically a conversation that we would have with Rudy and staff. We have pre-construction meetings. And all that gets negotiated, the pricing gets negotiated as well as expectations. So there's no surprises to anybody. So these installation contractors, that's what they do. That's all they do. So they know what they're doing. Our project manager has been with us since the creation of the company. And so he's gonna be on site. He's the liaison between the gross and billing, I shouldn't say the gross and billing staff. And the guys out in the field and Encode and Ms. Moran. He's the go-between between everybody. So communication is key all the way around.
Yes, I agree.
When you said additional costs, if they had to go and dig the meter out, who's eating up that cost, the city or the customer?
So what they do, they'll do what's called a RTU, return to utility. So the installation contractor will come to that box. If they can't change out the meter without extra work, they skip it. They make a notation, curb stop not working. You have to have a working valve to shut the water off. Curb stop not working, excessive digging, broken piping, or whatever the case may be, every day or every week, whatever, and the pre-construction meeting is decided, they kick it back to the utility. And then it goes to, you know, Rudy and the guys, and Rudy says, okay, we can do this, this, and this, save some money. Or they give the go-ahead for the installation contractor to go back and do whatever extra work. We like to have the city do as much work ahead of time. And that's why when we plan these projects, we communicate and get a timeline where staff is comfortable, where they've done as much work as they can ahead of time.
The question is, because I mean, if we're paying out this money, I mean, I feel that you as the company should be responsible for keeping up with the meters and, you know, pre-maintenance instead of having if we have a customer that's having issues with the meter and then have to wait a couple of days for the contractor to come and service it, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood. I thought we were talking about like during the installation or just in general.
In general, you know.
Just in general, like after the project is
Yeah.
done. Yeah, that's basically up to staff. Staff goes to look at what the issue is and then we come up with a game plan on what it is. As far as anything besides the meter, we can't warranty. We can't warranty curb stops. We can't warranty piping.
Yeah, I totally understand that. You know, so every meter or every commercial and residential are gonna have two different type of meters, or are they gonna all be the same?
It should be with these type of meters, you only need the 1 meter because they pick up both high flow and low flow. So you can have the residential meters are 5 inch by 3/4. The larger meters, anything 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch are all flanged in meters. Because they're so advanced, you don't need 2 different meters at any one location.
Again, this package has already been approved by the
Yeah.
council.
So what
And
we-
right now, we're at the financing stage. And that's what's on the agenda today.
We actually applied for, because talking with Mr. Arredondo, the previous city manager, he had kind of a dollar amount that he felt comfortable the city could handle and he didn't want to go over. We went back to the manufacturer to Master Meter and said, hey, they have X number of meters. It's going to cost X amount to get these installed and the system going. What can you do for the city of Dilley? So they did extend some extra pricing. The time frame was a little tight. It was till the 31st. Because of the financing part of it was going to take a little longer. We were able to ask them to extend the pricing discount, which they did twice. They couldn't do that anymore, so we actually just purchased all the material. We actually have your material sitting in our warehouse, because we purchased it to secure that discount. It was a pretty substantial discount.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, council, there are no further questions regarding finance for the certificates of obligation. Can I please have a motion?
I motion on act on ordinance number 26-19-05-1. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of City of Delia, Texas combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation series 2026. Entering into the purchase of investment letter and paying agent register agreement and approving all other matters related to the issuance of certificates of obligation.
Motion on the table by Councilmember Place 5, Alberto Gomez. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Councilmember Place 2, Eric Aranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 7, discuss, consider, and act on ordinance number 26-19-05-2. An ordinance of the city of Dilley, Texas, amending the garbage rates fee schedule, adopting new garbage rates, reflecting the agreement with Republic Services, implementing a rate change, authorizing the city administrator to order the implementation of the amended rate schedule, declaring a public purpose, providing for severability, declaring a public purpose, providing for severability, and setting an effective date. Ms. Moran? Your microphone, please.
You have before you an ordinance with an Exhibit A. And at this time, I would like to request that we table this item. And the reason for that is because I have just been made aware of a more recent ordinance than the one that is in your packet. If you look in your packet, there is an ordinance towards the back that is dated 24, year 24. And that ordinance basically said that we had a 10% admin fee that would be applied to the rate increases from Republic. So Republic every year increases their rates based on the consumer price index. And this particular ordinance in here stated that we would increase our fee, our solid waste fee, by 10%. However, what this ordinance wasn't clear about was that we had to come to council every time to do this. So the proposed ordinance in your packet eliminates that. However, just later this afternoon, I was made aware of a more current ordinance than the 24. And because I need time to review that ordinance and the rates that are in this ordinance was adopted by council. It's dated, the ordinance is 25-2309. So in September 2025, there's an ordinance in here. However, it doesn't specify the actual, it's a little weak. It references that they're amending an ordinance in 2015. However, we have this ordinance is in your packet that's dated 2024. So it's just, none of this makes any sense. I need time to go back and review it and bring more transparency and be more clear about what rate. I was requesting a 12% admin fee. The recommended in most cities our size is 15%. However, I went ahead and requested in this ordinance a 12%, and you have in there the Exhibit A with those rates. But because I need time to compare last year's ordinance, I need to ask that we table this. The other thing is that they are already, Republic is already effective April 1, already charging the 2168. They went up to from 20 something to 2168, and we're not currently charging that fee. So we need to correct that as well and bring back the effective date, which is what I was proposing tonight. But since the discovery of this 2025 ordinance, I need time to go back and make sure that we are accurate, that the wording is correct here. And I will bring this back at our June regular meeting.
So the 25 ordinance that you've been made aware of does not have a percent increase?
It doesn't list it. If you look at that, oh, well, y'all don't have a copy. Natasha, you didn't make copies for them. The ordinance has it just has the rate increase. It does allow for it to go up till 2029, but I can't make any rationale of how we arrived at this rate, especially because we don't really know what the consumer price index is going to be next year. It could be.
What's going to increase every year?
Yeah, it's going to increase every year, but we don't know how much or anything. So we really need to clean this up to where it doesn't give us the full rate, but it does allow administration to come back, not have to come every year with an ordinance. It'll be in the language that you see in the one that I was proposing, that when we get the rate increase from Republic, that we automatically put those rates in with either a 12% or whatever council decides at the time that we bring back the amended ordinance. So basically, I'm going to amend the most current ordinance, which is the 2025. I'm going to come back after reviewing it and just amend certain sections of it to have more transparency and clarity on what the public needs to see as far as an increase in the solid waste collection. So your garbage collection.
And I have one question. This 12% admin fee that you mentioned,
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
an additional that you're wanting to bring an ordinance regarding our rates?
So it would be in the ordinance that we're going to amend, this 25 ordinance. It's going to actually be more, if you look at in your packet, I attached what it should look like for transparency and clarity. If you can see in Exhibit A, how we broke that. This should be published on our city's website. It's called Exhibit A. It's right. It says Republic's base rate. It's going to be, they're charging us $21.68 effective April. In the 25, what I'm seeing here, this ordinance that I just was made aware of, we don't charge, our rate doesn't go up until October of 2026, but we're already being charged a higher rate. So.
We're already losing money.
Yes, sir. And we're also charging a 10%, which doesn't cover everything that I specified in my memorandum to you all, everything that is included in that admin fee. And then I did a comparison with other communities, and most communities charge 15%. So I kind of went in the middle and proposed a 12%. But I do need to go back and review this 2025 and see what we're currently doing. So
When did the new contract with Republic come in effect?
April 1 of
The-
this year.
The new
Yes, sir.
contract.
No, 2024. Our new
Oh,
contract. came
we
into
went
effect in
entered
2024.
into 2024, I believe, and it's for 7 years. Yeah, that's really surprising why we would do a 7-year contract. Yeah, the negotiations will probably need to, and they come back when the contract is up. So it's not up till, I believe I stated in my memorandum, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in your packet also. It's a 7-year term. But every year, based on the consumer price index, their annual rates increase. And we need to keep up with that.
We've been increasing them in October when we
Yeah.
do our regular rate increase, and they're billing us since April.
In April, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Council, as requested by City Administrator.
I do want to point out, as part of educating and I'm sorry, Mayor,
No, you're fine.
this is just a draft flyer. Once it's approved and what we decide on the rates, we will put flyers like this in our website and social media, and possibly in the billing packets to explain why the rates are going to go up slightly. And if you look at that Exhibit A that's in there in your packet, it's like a $2 increase or something like that. It's at a 12%.
Thank you. Council, as requested by City Administrator Yolanda Moran, if we could please table this item and bring back to next council meeting. Can I have a motion for table?
I make a motion that we table order, the Republic wastewater stuff I'm sorry.
Okay.
City ordinance 26-19-05-02.
Thank you, Ms. Aranda. I have a motion on the table by Councilmember Place 2, Eric Aranda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Place 4, Joe Garcia. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, discuss, consider, and act on resolution number 26-19-05-1 to authorize the city of Dilley to join the TEX pool, the Texas Local Government Investment Pool, and to approve a resolution designating authorized representatives for the city's TEX pool account.
Mayor, council members, currently, our investments are in a CD. They're not large, but what the TEX pool does, we can pool not only our CDs, but our cash pool and invest it into this TEX pool, which offers us several benefits in comparison to just having them what we call stable or not moving at all. And then if we ever had a crisis where we had to use some of that money, we would get penalized because there are term CDs. Most cities and school districts utilize the tax pool. So we would pull our money into this tax pool, and it's administered by the Texas Comptroller, and it is widely used by municipalities, counties, school districts, and specifically the funds are more what we call liquidity. We can access them quickly. We won't be penalized, and it has a higher yield. So we are requesting that we join the tax pool and consider investing some of our funds into this pool.
How much are we looking at in investing?
So
The
it
tax
changes,
pool.
the
reading
investment
it.
right now. How much are we looking at, Mr. Alvarez? Just the CDs, but again, the question becomes, we have cash pool also that we have in a checking account that could also be pulled into this tax pool. And which means the more money's in there, the higher the interest yielded.
So for transparency, who's going to decide the amount of funds that goes into tax pool? Will that be brought back to council for a certain amount that's gonna be put into the tax pool, or how does that work?
So that is a very good question, Mayor, and I can come back with an answer for you all on that. And to determine, again, how much would we invest in that tax pool? But this is just to authorize me to submit a packet to join that tax pool. And then we would come back with the financials as to how much we think would be what we might want to consider putting into that tax pool.
So the smart move would be to get everything out of the CD and put it in there automatically, right?
Yeah.
'Cause the CDs
Based
are-
on the benefits here versus, the CD, again, it's a term. You get penalized if you take it out. It's not what we call liquidity usable. In other words, with a tax pool, we can take that money out if we need it. So if you have higher yields, and based on the market rates, it changes. So today it could be at, 3.75%. Tomorrow it could be higher. So they invest those monies into other markets that pay higher yields as well.
So we're not obligated to any certain amount if we go ahead and move forward?
No.
And what does it look for as far as a loss for us? Is it a gamble? Is it always going to increase in a tax pool? Or will we possibly have some loss based on market value, or how does that work?
I didn't find on my research that it would be considered a loss, but those are, again, really good questions. And we can have, once I reach out to the state controllers and research whether or not that, but again, based on my research and the benefits that it yields, and the fact that, this is recommended by CPAs, it's recommended by our current consultant, and other counties, cities, all join this tax pool because, again, of the benefits that it provides versus sitting in a CD with a term on it, and we cannot touch it unless we want to get penalized for if we had an emergency where we had to pull some of that money out of there.
So this ordinance is to approve you to apply for the tax pool, as well as authorizing the city administrator, finance director, and city secretary as designees for the city of Delhi representatives?
Yes.
Council, do y'all have any further questions regarding this item? I I do have those questions, so we could bring those back. I mean, whatever council does decide, but just make sure that we are able to
Absolutely.
know
Yeah.
what are pros and cons to it, and
Yeah.
more so the transparency of the funds that are gonna be put
Absolutely.
into the text.
It does say here that there is no minimum balance required. So, I mean, if we wanted to be very conservative and see how it plays out, we could certainly. But yeah, we would definitely bring that back. This just authorizes us to consider joining that, filling out an application, and then, of course, we'll come back with the specifics and the investment amount to council.
Mr. Alvarez, how much do we have in our CDs right now?
We have about $200,000 in CDs, in certificates of deposits with the local bank or depository. Right now in the cash pool and the general fund cash account, we probably have about $1.5 million. But that we'd have to consider the cash flow, because right now we've been receiving the bulk of our taxes for this year, and that's going to taper off. So we'd have to consider our cash flow, and before we can see how much we can put into this. Another thing we'd have to do is compare the CD rate that we're getting now with the tax pool, whatever they have different programs, and so whatever they anticipate that the interest rate will be there, and we'd have to consider if for 0.5%, it might not be worth it. I mean, it's like if you're the city of San Antonio who has $500 million to invest, that that's different than us. But we'd have to. This would allow us another tool to consider.
Right, and then
for our
to
investment.
see what it is that we are able to.
But the tax will also allow us to access the fund without getting penalized.
Yes.
So
Yeah, the taxes are about 80% are collected between November and February, and so and during those months we get about 400,000 a month. But this last one was I think it was for like 40,000. So it's already beginning to taper off. So we've got that money in there, but that income will not continue for the rest of the year. So like I said, we have to see what our cash flow looks like for the rest of the year.
So on the last 3 pages of your packet, I included a Q&A that addresses some of these questions. Joining the tax pool yields higher yields than standard bank accounts. And right now, an account that's in savings or CDs basically is a very low interest. It's earning very low interest. By contrast, the tax pool yields significantly higher short-term yields, because it's, again, as I mentioned, it diversifies our investments. And then it provides same-day deposits and withdrawals, so we could automatically just get in there and make a withdrawal, versus with CDs, we have terms, we'll get penalized, we have to request it. So it doesn't provide us that liquidity. There's reduced risks through diversification, because it diversifies our monies through several markets. And it's widely used and trusted by Texas governments. There is no financial impact to the city as far as fees. And then the alternative is to continue to use the only traditional bank accounts and CDs that we currently use and get lower returns. So this is another mechanism, as I mentioned to council when I was hired. My goal is to continue to look for ways to increase new growth in revenue and not be dependent on the most common ones that we're currently dependent on, and look for ways to diversify and grow new revenue. So this is one way to do that.
Texpool is the only investment company that you seeked, or did you look at others?
Well, I did not look at others, because this is the one that cities, counties, and municipalities use. It is basically specifically for this purpose.
Also, it's affiliated with the Texas Municipal League.
Y'all have any questions? Concern?
Well, if we move forward with it, we're not obligated to anything after, right? I mean, we could always, I guess,
So she's going, this is authorizing her to submit the application to be part of the text pool, but everything else would, well, I would
Come to
request it
council.
come to council. So just for
Yeah.
transparency, making sure we make the decisions about the amount of funds, if it's something we want to move
Yeah.
forward with. Look at entrance rates, compare them to our current CDs and the risk, yes.
And of course, the interest rates, again, based on market, can go up. Every day they change, so I really couldn't, if I gave you a number today, tomorrow it'd probably
Would be
be different, so we have to look at that.
Ms.
Yeah,
Morales?
that's another thing that in the text pool, maybe over the long run, it may produce higher reals, but it does go up and down. It fluctuates, whereas certificates of deposit is at a set rate. And the only drawback, like Ms. Moran said, is that they have a term, so they mature at certain times of the year. So at that time, you consider whether you need to. But I think we've had these with CDs for years. We haven't touched them.
My question, where's the Q&A? What were they
It's
referenced
the
off of?
last 3 pages.
Yes, but what were
Why
the,
most cities invest.
the
That's
reference? Like,
yeah.
where did you get these off of? Just because I want to research it on
Yeah.
a little bit.
from the research. You just Google the text pool and what it is and what
Okay.
it does. TML also has information on it as well. So there's hopefully we'll come back with some additional information as I look through the packet, but tonight it was just to authorize me to look into applying for to be part of the text pool and then come back with some of these answers. And after reviewing what amounts you would like, I mean, and you can continue to make deposits into the text pool or take monies out. And this would be part of the monthly reports that we bring to you all as part of the investment reports. It will be brought every month to you all, so you'll be able to see how the text pool is doing.
Thank you, Ms. Moran.
Yes, ma'am.
If there are no further questions or discussions, council, I ask for a motion.
Make a motion, we approve resolution 26-19-05-1, authorizing participation in the text pool and designating authorized representatives.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 2, Eric Aranda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Place 3, Marisa Torres. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all very much. It is 7:01 PM and I adjourn. Yes.
I just wanted to make an announcement regarding some training that you all might be interested in, and especially the new council.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So Natasha has done some research. There are some trainings in July 30 to 31st in San Antonio, and then August 13th and 14th in Round Rock. And this is the TML newly elected city officials orientation. I will pass these out, and here is the agenda as to what you will learn regarding, besides the roles and responsibilities as an elected official, all the other things that the city deals with. And if y'all are interested in attending any one of these 2 sessions, just reach out, email Miss Natasha, and she will register you for the training and the hotels.
No.
We'll get you another copy. Okay, thank you, Ms. Moran. It is 7:03 PM and I adjourn this meeting.